It's the exact same.
It is equally loud, but I feel better about it.
All right. We'll film an intro later. We'll just roll.
Let's do it.
How you doing, Lights?
Awesome.
Awesome.
It's good to be back in Cleveland. I'm feeling a little under the weather, but there's a Chipotle next door.
Oh.
Got
yes.
a little bit to eat. Had a great sound check.
Good.
And came in here and was flooded with all the memories of playing here in January.
See, Chipotle's good, but see, there's a Dave's Famous Subs, and there's the BD's Mongolian Barbecue.
So it
and
could've been better.
You totally missed out. You made a mistake by going to Chipotle. I mean, those are
Okay, is it
everywhere.
Chipotle or Chipotle? Is it
Pat-
nuclear or nuclear?
He's the expert on this subject.
I'm a Chipotle.
I'm a Chipotle.
Like with the L-E at the end? Like the
Chipotle,
love?
just like the way it's spelled.
It makes sense that way.
Yeah, Chipotle.
I had a roommate that, Kevin, that argued about that.
My
like
tour manager calls it
crazy.
Chipotle. I'm just like, it's okay though. To each his own with that,
Each
you
his
know.
own. Yes, I like that. Am I cropped out of the shot?
Mm-hmm.
He's cropped out. Should I be looking at you? Yeah.
No, well, or the camera.
No, thought she's talking to you.
I know, but
Let's
I'm
make
not.
this come.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Okay, whatever. He's the expert. Okay. So, Lights, your new album came out. The Listening, or your first album, or first.
Oh, not
full-length
even a week
album.
ago. Not even a week ago. My first record came out.
But you say that, but the Pirate Bay, the big torrent site, had your album out like on 9/24.
Yeah, because it came out in Canada on September 22nd. So
Right.
I mean, it's out there.
It was up there with 160 seaters. That's a lot.
What is that?
That's like the number of people that are like hosting
Oh!
an album for people
And you
to
know what?
steal it from.
All 166 of them are Canadians.
I bet they have to be
Because it came out in Canada on the 22nd. Whatever. I mean, it's better than it not being leaked on there because that means people don't care.
Aren't you a little flattered though? I mean, that
Totally.
Is nice. I mean, that means
That's exactly it.
160 people have your album.
Think
You
other people want to hear
share
it.
with the world. That's right.
That's really cool, actually.
That's
It's turning
great.
into more of a compliment these days than anything.
Yeah, and your album came out. That's really exciting.
Really exciting.
And what's your favorite track on the album?
It's a tough question, honestly, because every single song is the best of what I've made over the past 3 years, and that's like hundreds of songs, right? So these are my favorites of my songs. But if I had to pick a favorite of my favorites, at this point it's Quiet. It's the second last song, and I got to try some different things in that song, production-wise and content-wise. The things I wrote about in it, like romance, I don't normally write about. So it's like got a place in my heart that way. Plus, it's really easy to lose myself when I'm playing it live, so it's very fun to play as
Speaking of
well.
romance, you seeing anybody right now?
Yes, I am.
What's his name? Where's he from?
He's actually from Ohio. He's
Yay! Is it me?
it is you, and you didn't even know.
Yeah. I'm from Ohio. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like making people feel
The
very
interviewer's silence.
uncomfortable.
Go on.
Yes. Now, I have to ask you about this because I got real excited. I was checking out your website the other day prepping for this interview, and I saw that you had just watched Big Bird Goes to China.
Unbelievable flick. If you haven't seen it, I suggest it because there's a lot to be learned in Big Bird in China.
You know what? See, because I wrote for MSN.com. I used to travel with them.
That's
and
cool.
my first piece was called Big Bird Goes to China. It was like meeting Dave Matthews, and it was like meeting the Phoenix Bird.
Wait, you met him?
Yeah, I did.
You met Big Bird?
No, Dave Matthews.
Oh.
But it was like the Great Phoenix Bird. Like I was running all over Bonnaroo trying to find Dave Matthews, and then I met him, and I was like, "Hey," and then he went away, and I was like,
was
"That's
it
like."
good? Was it what you wanted?
I said, "Hey," and he said, "Hey," and I said, "Can I get my picture with you?" And he said, "Yeah, but just you, 'cause I'm balding." And I said, "Okay," and it was magical.
Well, that sounds like a great day.
It was a great day. Never forget it. So, Lights, tell us about your obsession with video games.
Video games is just honestly inspiring creatively because, I mean, you think about the creativity and the invention that was put into these games, right? Creating entirely new otherworldly experiences. That in itself is really inspiring. And it's just fun. I have a really good time. So it's a great little getaway, a nice little break to be somebody else, anonymous.
Are you do you give hope to the video game nerds and to the sci-fi nerds and to the comic nerds that maybe there's a hot chick out there for them?
There are plenty, and I feel like, well, I'm not going to admit at all that I'm a hot chick. I just feel like a total person that likes to play games. But there are a lot more girls playing games than you realize, and that is growing. That number is growing.
I think next time we're in town, we're gonna have a contest on our site. We're gonna have a really good World of Warcraft player come and challenge you.
Okay. Wait, like, are we talking PvP here, or like on the same
Dude,
rating
I know
team?
nothing about World of Warcraft. I'm sorry, but we definitely will, and they'll come challenge you.
Well, it all depends on how geared they are. It's honestly, I mean, experience is in there, but if you've spent enough time getting some great gear and doing a lot of raids and getting a lot of honor points to buy some like tier 300 armor.
And how much gear do you have?
I'm semi-geared. I'm pretty well geared considering the amount of time I've put in. Like, I don't get to play 24/7.
Right.
Some people do.
Yeah, I had a roommate that played, Mike. Played about pretty close to 24/7. He dropped out of college just to play World of Warcraft.
There's literally Warcraft rehabilitation centers that I feel are necessary for some people.
Really? Wow.
He's
see?
what? Warcraft Pro. Wow, that's fantastic. Good for him. I'm actually not gonna lie, I'm jealous of that.
Would you give up your music career to be a World of Warcraft pro?
If I was promised notoriety in the industry, then yes.
So, Lights, you won the Juno Award,
Yeah.
the Canadian Grammy equivalent for the best new artist, and
I
you didn't
did.
even have a full-length album out yet. I mean, how flattering is that?
It was unbelievable, and at the moment, very unbelievable. I didn't think I had a chance, and just being nominated was enough. Considering I just had the EP out, right? People only knew who I was based on 6 songs and a little bit of touring, you know? So, it was really cool, and everyone else that was nominated had full-length albums and everything. It was just really encouraging for people who do things independently the way they want, you know, the underdog way, with not really huge support from a major label. You can still be recognized on a huge scale like that, which was, I was like, yeah, Canada.
Speaking of Canada, where are you from? Toronto, yes?
I live in Toronto. I'm not from there.
Oh, okay. Where are you from?
That's a hard question to answer. I've moved around a lot. I've moved 26 times. I was born in Timmins, which is the same town that Shania Twain was born in. It's a
Ooh.
small northern Ontario town. So it's kind of weird that I have to sell millions upon millions of records in order to beat the biggest artist from my small town.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
And she has a statue in a museum
Really?
in Timmins.
A statue?
But I wasn't raised there. She does have a statue, I think. I wasn't raised there, born there. I spent some time living overseas in the Philippines, Jamaica. I lived
That's
in
why you're so gorgeous. The Philippines. See, I had a nurse, my grandma's nurse that was from the Philippines. Explains it
They're
all.
really pretty girls, and
I
they all have
know.
really cool names,
I know.
like Fanny
I know.
and like Pretty and Pinky
Pinky.
and Lights.
I know. That's a cool name too, though. I
Thank
like
you.
it. Show Pat your tattoos here. Not all of them, but just show
Sure.
them your. Show them the ink on your arm here.
All right, well, this is a World of Warcraft tattoo. Going back to the topic, it's the twin blade of the Phoenix. And here's a little fun fact to tie in our conversation.
Yes.
Before I went to the Philippines, we had to get vaccinations so that we would be immune to the diseases naturally. So I got one, and it went in awful. It scarred me for years, and so I ended up with this scar here that looked like a bullet hole. So I ended up getting a tattoo right over the scar, and it's right over the jewel. And you can see that where the ink didn't hold because it's scar tissue, which is giving the jewel kind of a unique look. But it's my story.
pretty
My
cool.
story under the jewel.
I like it.
That's one of them. On another note, I've come out with a cartoon series. I've been working with Tom Coker from Marvel Comics.
No.
And
Stealing my thunder. We're getting to that.
well, you're talking about tattoos, and everything relates in my life.
Yes.
So I got Captain Light's laser gun. I'll save some of the info for later, but
All right.
Captain Light's laser gun right here.
Wow.
And it's the colors of the listening, the albums, that ties that. I'm like one big ball of recurring conversation. I also have some German words here just about the Father's blessing, and I have this one. This is Wonder Woman fighting Giganta.
Wow.
Big fan of Wonder
You
Woman.
are inked up. That's awesome. Kathleen's pretty inked
I have
up
a few
too.
things here and there. What do you got? What's your favorite one? Oh, that's cool. For me, some people have.
They have Lights autographs on the.
Yeah, you know, I did a show in London a couple months ago, and a guy came up and said, "Can you sign my ankle?" I'm like, "Okay." It was before the show. Signed it. At the end of the show, when I was at the merch table meeting everyone, he came up and it was tattooed on him. Within that amount of time, he got it tattooed. It looked awesome. It was
That's
really cool.
pretty awesome.
A couple other people have gotten them too. I'm just like, the pressure's on too. Now when I sign people, I'm like,
I
"Oh, no, you're
know.
gonna
It could
tattoo
be
it.
a
I don't
tattoo.
know."
We gotta make sure that signature's
Permanent.
nice and
Ugh.
neat.
That's
Yeah.
cool. It's really flattering.
That is pretty flattering. I would say. And let's go back. Let's talk about your comic since you brought it up.
All right, let's do it.
It's an Audio Quest, right?
Audio Quest, a Captain Light's
Light's
Adventure.
Adventure.
Yes.
Yes, I remembered without looking at my
That's
sheet.
really well done, actually.
Yes. And, you know, Lothar, that's the evil guy,
Yeah,
yes?
Lothar.
That you're trying to
mutant
fight.
merchant.
Have we got to episode 3? Is there an episode 3 that's
No, yeah,
out?
it comes out.
Oh.
It comes out tomorrow.
Oh, yes, I'm going to watch it. Now, who
Are
does...
you are you nervous for the next episode? Like,
I'm very nervous
I'm
about you
telling
and
you, they
Lothar.
get better and better.
I'm nervous that you're in danger.
Well, I am, to be honest,
I
but
know.
I'm pretty smart and I have a good team around me, so it gets me out of trouble when I need it.
Awesome. Now, who does Lothar represent? Is he like the big evil music business guru?
In one word, no, it's not so much that. In one word, he's the anti-music, and he's everything in life that goes against what I love. I love music. Music is whatever I do. So he sort of represents the things that try to take you away from that, because his basic ambition in this universe is to mute the whole universe. And the concept is the whole universe runs off sound. My laser gun runs off sound rounds. You know, I use sound for my jetpack. And if I were to lose all of that, then my people would die. So it's just kind of, you know, you would lose all your passion and everything if Lothar was in charge.
Now, what's more flattering, having your own comic or having people tattoo their names on it?
It's a tough question, I'm telling you. Like, of everything that I've achieved in my career, which isn't really that much, I'm not being arrogant, but of everything that I feel I've succeeded in.
Success. I like that. That's cool.
One of the moments that I felt my dreams came true the most was watching Captain Light's Adventures after they were done.
Yeah.
It's just, I've always wanted to live that way, but it's impossible because it's sci-fi. So it's happening for me even when it's impossible.
Yeah. And you draw comics yourself, yes?
I do. I'm nowhere near the talent that Tom Coker is, but I someday, hopefully, if I invest enough time in, maybe I will be.
What would you do if you could make your own comic? You know, who would be the characters and what would be the theme?
It's Captain Lights. That's
Captain
the one.
Lights,
I sat
you
down
would
and
do
talked with
Captain
him.
Lights.
Yeah. Well, we sat down and developed the character and the storyline and the concepts. He obviously drew it, but are you asking if I were to draw one?
Yes.
Well, I've already invented many characters. One of the first ones, which has stood to this day of my characters, when I was like 11, I invented Monty the Frog, and he's kind of like looks like an alien stick frog, and his adventures always end morbidly, like he ends up getting cut in half, or it's just like me getting out my anger when I was a kid, right? So to this day, Monty's somehow still alive, and I would probably have to release a book about Monty.
You couldn't put him in Captain Lights? He couldn't be like your little Boo Boo
Sidekick?
Bear or something, you know, coming
I'll
with
tell
you?
you, I'll give you a hint. Captain Lights does achieve the sidekick, figure, but I'm not going
Ooh.
to tell you who it is. It's actually quite a twist.
Ooh.
So,
I'm really looking forward to this
keep
because
watching.
I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like,
you're like nervous,
this is pretty
right?
intriguing.
And every episode ends in me going, damn.
Damn, I love that.
Because I do it all the time.
It's like Jack Bauer style. Do you
I
watch
do it all the
24?
time. No, I don't. How does he end his episode?
Well, no, it doesn't end him
I
like
love
that.
Kiefer Sutherland.
But he's always like, damn it,
Oh,
all the time. And so when I saw you go
Bob.
damn like twice, I'm like, hey.
every episode, or like if it's good, it'll be like, damn. When I was doing the voiceovers, I probably said damn 500 times, just different versions of it.
Really,
It's
just
like,
to make it
damn,
work?
Damn, damn.
That's pretty awesome.
It was fun.
How are we doing on time here? Do you have to go?
I'm not on for 2.5 more hours.
Okay, cool. 'Cause that's exactly how much time I wanted to keep going with you here. No, I'm just kidding.
Crap.
What else was I going to talk to you about? Oh, the Warp Tour. You were on the Warp Tour.
Yeah.
And how did that end up for you?
It was awesome. I was only on the first month, but it was really, really fun. We actually played Cleveland as well.
I know, I saw you there.
And last year, too, we played Cleveland 2 Warp Tours in a row.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me that you played Detroit and Cleveland your first year. I mean, how
Yeah.
bad is that, going like to the worst 2 cities in the country?
It was rough, I'm telling you. And I thought, and I was sick, and in those days I had a huge cold sore. So I was
Oh.
like, this is the last day that I feel like being on stage. But I did, and then after I felt like a champ because I was like, if I can live through that, then I can live through anything. Then I found out I was going to be on Warped Tour for a whole month, and I was like, crap. But it turned out really well. It was so much fun. Not at all like being in a van on Warped Tour. We shared a bus with another band, so it makes things a million times easier. The drives are so long
Yeah.
that, like, by the time you get there, you have to load on, and
Yeah.
you could be playing at 11 in the morning.
Were you on one of the slave ships, or did you just like share a bus with the band?
We shared a bus with another band.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it
you
wasn't
were like
bad
on the
at all.
36 and the 12 bunk.
No. We've got enough crew that we have a bus. So.
Oh, cool.
I mean, there's the 2 guys in my band, and then my tour manager and our front of house guy.
Right.
So I mean, if we were split up all across the the grounds, it might be a little hard. Warped Tour was awesome though. Honestly, it's so amazing. I couldn't have asked for it to be better. I mean, it's a punk rock tour, right? I didn't know how they were gonna take electropop.
Well, they accepted the Millionaires, and
Semi.
if they took them, they
That's
can
true.
take you, because they were. How do you say?
There's a lot of new stuff on this year that would be unexpected. Like Jeffree
And
Star was on for a bit.
And Shooter Jennings.
Shooter Jennings on.
That was pretty cool.
That was that was cool. It's different, and I think it's really smart on Lyman's behalf because it's bringing out more people. There's like a broad range of artists on Warp now, and so it's becoming less of what it was traditionally, which is kind of bums some people out. But in another way, it's like a tour for more people. Just gonna go and see some music. It's fun.
Yeah. And you played South by Southwest.
Yes, first time ever being at South by Southwest. It was amazing.
How crazy is it down there? Because I've always wanted to make it down there. I never
You haven't
have.
gone to South by?
No.
It's awesome. And to top it all off, every dusk under the bridge there, Centennial Bridge, I don't know what it's called, just right outside of Austin.
Yeah.
All the bats come out to eat,
Ooh.
feed. And so it's like a cloud of black coming out every dusk, and like people gather to watch it. It was really cool. So it's just like a bonus. Like South by Southwest is the ice cream, and the bats is the...
I think I would be scared as hell.
It wasn't scary at all. It's cool. Have you seen Bats, the movie?
Bats. I've seen birds. I don't think I've seen
Birds
bats.
is good. There's bats.
Birds,
There's
man. I'm scared of pigeons and little birds because of
are
birds.
rough for sure.
I'm really scared of
Birds
pigeons.
was a good movie.
It scared me to death.
Really?
Yeah, it was like scarier than Big Bird Goes to China.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. I'm deathly afraid of birds.
Like, okay, in Big Bird in China, what is the deal with the Monkey King that keeps showing up magically? He like disappears and shows up, and he's like,
yeah, and then at the end, Big Bird's like, "Bye, Monkey King."
yeah, and they're like, and he's running down the Great Wall of China,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what just happened? And the Monkey King gave the dog a necklace with a, what are those? Oh my goodness, why can't I think of the name of it? Those like hourglass things.
Yeah.
And that was the amount of time that they could find the.
What are those
Phoenix
things called? The hourglasses.
Hourglass.
It's just called an hourglass?
Yeah, I remembered it. It was just weird, and I mean, we watched it half on mute, which allowed us to come up with our own storyline, which made it worse.
Did you like spin like Dark Side of the Moon while you were listening to it?
Pretty much, like like there was like a dance mix going on in the background, so like Friendly Fires was playing and stuff. I'm just like, okay, this is working. The knife comes on, it's like dark, and Big Bird's like running with a bunch of little kids, and it was bizarre, but it was a good movie.
That was like my favorite movie. I have to see that movie 1,000 times.
I've definitely not seen it that many times, but
So
you know what
good.
movie I've seen that many times?
Let me guess. No, I can't. Okay, go ahead.
Beauty and the Beast.
That's
the
a
one
good
movie I've watched so many times.
And what happened to the Disney flicks? Because I mean, they had Beauty and the
don't know.
Beast, they had Aladdin,
I know.
and they had The Lion King, and then it went to shit.
They had a ton of great stuff.
Yeah.
The Little Mermaid,
I love that movie.
Pocahontas. I don't even. Was that even Disney?
No, yeah, Pocahontas was after
dude,
the.
John Smith was George Clooney. That
That's
was the
pretty
voice.
crazy. I know, but see, Pocahontas was like the start of the decline.
Pocahontas was fantastic. That was great. Literally, I wrote one of my favorite songs that I've written called "Strange Clouds" based on that movie, where she's like, she got the prophecy for strange clouds, and then she saw the ship coming up, and the sails look like strange clouds, and she's like, "Strange cloud."
That's pretty cool.
My favorite.
I'm sorry though.
Yeah, and then there's
We
all these
watched
like.
Cinderella 3. My first weekend in college, I watched Cinderella 3 as my.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah, I know. I was a loser.
Yeah, I didn't know there was even a second one.
No, there was definitely a third.
It's kind of like Pulse. I really liked Pulse 1, and then all of a sudden Pulse 3 came out, and I'm like, wait, where's Pulse 2? Missed it.
It's like an Aladdin 3 too.
What?
That would depress me. to
Aladdin
watch
was
it.
great.
I watched Aladdin 2 and it was terrible.
Really?
Yeah. They didn't have Gilbert Godfrey as the bird. They had someone else.
Oh, it was
and-
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no
So-
Robin Williams either. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That sucks. I mean, Robin Williams was great.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
That was such.
I
a
know
good
all the
movie.
songs.
I know, me too. You want to sing one with me?
Riff raff,
Street rat, I don't by that.
If
If you
only
lean
they
it
look
closer,
would they see a poor boy? No, siree.
Siri,
They'd
find
find
out
out
there's so much more to me.
I was trying to do the harmony, and you're like,
Oh,
you're
sorry.
like, I'm gonna hit the diva note
Sorry, I
again.
fucked it up. We'll try that again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And,
That's great, though. Nice.
And Lights, you play what is, I think, the greatest instrument in the world, the guitar.
It is a good one.
And how did you pick that up? I mean, they're so hard to find now. I mean, they go
know.
for like $5,000, $10,000 on eBay.
Well, I mean, the thing is they're not really made anymore. Both my guitars are Yamaha, which they don't make anymore. The only company that makes them, as far as I know, is Roland, and brand new they could go for like $1,000 at least.
Yeah.
So when you can find one, it's definitely worth picking up. The way it came around was I never intended to become a guitar player. It was never going to be part of my thing, but it was purely for practical reasons, because as a keyboard player, you're kind of stuck on stage in one spot. You know, you can't really move around, and it's kind of boring to do for the crowd and me. So I saw the guitar and I was like, this could be a great way to be more portable and maneuverable on stage. So I picked it up. It's like a couple $100, which is like a total steal. Never ended up using it for like a year, 2 years, and then finally just started using it one day and didn't think once that I would look super 80s cheese. So I've kind of tried mastering playing it with grace, and I think I've kind of got a handle on it.
Awesome. And who would you say is the greatest guitar player of all time?
You know what? I can't say I'm all up on who plays guitar. I do know that Paul Meany from Mute Math can rock a mean guitar, and that's a great band. So that's one. And I'll tell you this little story I have from playing in Philly earlier this year. In the venue beside us, one member of Limp Bizkit's side project, this heavy metal band, I saw them sound checking, and one of them was playing a guitar, and I was like, and he had like these big metal boots, and his foot was up on the monitor, and he was like shredding the guitar. I was like, okay.
Why don't you try that?
I've considered. I've actually tried.
Get the big boots.
One step ahead of you. I've definitely tried, but
All right, Lights, we'll let you go. Looks like you're pretty busy
All right,
here.
thank you
but
so
thank you so
much.
much for taking the time. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And looking forward to the show.
I can't wait.
All right, thanks a lot.